Have you ever looked at a map and imagined walking across the world? Think about this. The map you see today, on your phone, on your wall, was once a secret, mysterious, even dangerous object. Yes, maps were not always simple drawings. Some were hidden, some were forbidden, some held the power to change history. The history of maps globe showing Europe, Africa, is full of surprises. Imagine living at that time. Imagine holding a map that no one else could see. Imagine the fear, the wonder, the curiosity it sparked. You look at maps every day. Repeat after me. You look at maps every day. Say slowly. You follow maps without thinking. Repeat 2 times. But centuries ago, maps were different. They were not for everyone. They were treasures. They were secrets. And today we will take a journey through time to discover them. Long ago, the first maps were simple. Humans drew lines on stones, on clay, on cave walls. They showed rivers, mountains, and stars. You could say they were the very first tools to understand the world. The earliest maps we know come from Babylon, around 2300 BCE. Think about that. People, thousands of years ago, wanted to see their world on a flat surface. They drew rivers like veins. They drew mountains like tiny triangles. Every map told a story, but not all maps were accurate. Some were mysterious. Some were magical. People believed maps could guide them, but also mislead them. A wrong map could bring travelers into danger. Pirates, traders, explorers all feared a bad map. You plan your journey with maps today. Repeat after me. You plan my journey with maps today. Say slowly. You trust maps to guide you. Repeat 2 times. Then came a turning point. The Greeks, especially a man called Anaximander, tried to map the world carefully. Around 600 BCE, he drew the first map showing continents and oceans, but it was very different from what we see today. The world looked small, strange, unknown. Slowly, maps became more than drawings. They became tools of power. Kings and rulers wanted maps. They wanted to see lands they could control. They wanted secrets. But maps were not free. They were often banned for ordinary people. Imagine this. A map could get you in trouble. People could hide maps, smuggle maps, protect them like gold. Some maps were considered so valuable that only a few could touch them. But the story does not end here. During the Middle Ages in Europe, maps looked very different. Many maps were more like art than tools. They showed cities, rivers, and seas, but also myths. Dragons and monsters appeared in oceans. People believed unknown lands were dangerous. Unknown lands were magical. Some maps even had notes like, "Here be dragons." You wonder, could a map be a storybook? Repeat after me. Could a map be a storybook? Say slowly. Maps can tell stories too. Repeat 2 times. At the same time, in Asia, maps were growing more precise. China, Japan, and India made maps to help trade and travel. The Silk Road, the long trade route from China to Europe, needed maps. Traders, travelers, and adventurers depended on them. Every map told where to go, where to rest, and what dangers might appear. But then another change arrived. The age of exploration. Europeans sailed across oceans. They discovered continents, islands, and unknown seas. Maps became essential. Suddenly, a map could change history. A map could show new lands, new riches, new powers. Cartographers, the map makers, worked carefully. Some maps were small and secret. Some were large and public. Some were sold to kings. Some were hidden in secret libraries. Have you ever thought about a map like a key? Repeat after me. Have you ever thought about a map like a key? Say slowly. A map can open a world. Repeat 2 times. But the story of maps is full of tension. At first, maps were magical and forbidden, but later they became tools for everyone. Slowly, people learned to trust them. Slowly, maps shaped journeys, wars, trade, and even imagination. Maps were not just tools. They were stories. They were mysteries. They were keys to understanding the Earth. Think about this. Every time you look at a map today, you are connected to thousands of years of history. From stones and clay to paper and screens, maps have guided humans through the unknown, and yet the maps of the past still hold secrets. Some old maps show lands that do not exist. Some show cities that disappeared. Some show mysteries that even today we cannot solve. But what happened next surprised everyone. Maps were no longer just tools of kings and explorers. Maps began to reach ordinary people. Slowly, maps entered schools, books, and homes. People began to explore the world without leaving their village. They could imagine oceans, mountains, and continents from a single sheet of paper. You hold a map in your hands today. Repeat after me. You hold a map in your hands today. Say slowly. You explore the world from home. Repeat 2 times. And the transformation continued. Over time, maps became more accurate, more colorful, and more beautiful. They became symbols of curiosity, adventure, and knowledge. From hidden treasures to daily guides, maps have transformed the way we see the world. From fear and mystery to trust and exploration, maps have a story that is still alive. Pause for a moment. Imagine holding an ancient map. Imagine the smell of old paper. Imagine the excitement, the fear, the curiosity of those who held it before you. As maps spread across the world, people began to understand more about Earth. Oceans became paths for trade. Mountains became landmarks. Rivers became guides for travelers. The world felt smaller, yet larger at the same time. Imagine opening a map today. Repeat after me. Imagine opening a map today. Say slowly. You see the whole world at once. Repeat 2 times. By the 16th and 17th centuries, maps were everywhere. Schools used them. Merchants carried them. Ships depended on them. But maps also became works of art. Colors, decorations, and intricate details made each map unique. Some maps even told stories of heroes, battles, and ancient legends. Maps became personal. People started collecting them. They decorated their homes with maps. They showed off knowledge, wealth, and curiosity. A map was no longer just a guide. It was a window to the world. But maps still held surprises. Explorers sometimes found lands that did not exist on any map. Islands disappeared. Cities were renamed. Mountains moved on maps as explorers learned more. Maps were not perfect. They were alive, changing with every discovery. Have you ever thought about maps this way? Repeat after me. Have you ever thought about maps this way? Say slowly. Maps can change as we explore. Repeat 2 times. As centuries passed, maps became scientific. Cartographers learned to measure distances, use coordinates, and calculate positions. The invention of the compass and the telescope helped make maps more accurate. Slowly, the world became understandable in numbers and lines, not just imagination. Yet, even modern maps carry the spirit of old maps. The secrets, the stories, the unknown lands. They remind us of human curiosity. Every map is a story of adventure, risk, and discovery. Every map shows how people once dreamed, explored, and learned. Now, think about how you use maps today. You check Google Maps for directions. You look at city maps for travel. You see weather maps on your phone. These tools feel normal, everyday, simple, but behind them lies thousands of years of history. Behind them lies the story of people who dared to imagine the world. You use maps every day. Repeat after me. You use maps every day. Say slowly. You explore the world without moving. Repeat 2 times. Maps are not only about geography. They are about imagination. They are about seeing the world beyond your window. They are about thinking, dreaming, and planning. They teach us patience, observation, and curiosity. Have you ever imagined drawing your own map? Repeat after me. Have you ever imagined drawing your own map? Say slowly. You can create a world on paper. Repeat 2 times. Today, maps are digital. They are interactive. They're always in your pocket. But even digital maps connect us to the past. Every street, every river, every mountain we see on a screen was once a mystery. Every road we take was once discovered, measured, and drawn by someone brave enough to explore. Maps remind us of human connection. They remind us that curiosity is timeless. They remind us that even the simplest tools, lines on paper, can hold wonder, surprise, and discovery. Imagine this. You are holding a map. You trace a line with your finger. You travel across oceans, deserts, and mountains. You explore cities you have never seen. And in that moment, you are connected to thousands of people from the past. People who drew maps, studied maps, hid maps, and dreamed through maps. You travel with your mind today. Repeat after me. You travel with your mind today. Say slowly. Maps take me everywhere. Repeat 2 times. The history of maps is also a story of learning. Step by step, humans learn more about the world. Mistakes were corrected. Discoveries were celebrated. Curiosity never stopped. And slowly, maps became tools not only for travel, but for knowledge, art, and imagination. So, the next time you look at a map, think about this. You are holding centuries of human curiosity in your hands. You are connected to explorers, dreamers, and cartographers who dare to imagine the world. You are part of a long story of wonder, discovery, and learning. Maps teach us something important. One small line, one small drawing, one small idea can change how we see the world. And one small step, one sentence a day, can change how we learn English. Try saying this today. Repeat after me. One small idea can change how I see the world. Say slowly. I can explore new worlds every day. Repeat 2 times. Maps are not just for explorers. They are for dreamers. They are for learners. They are for you. And every time you practice English with a story, every time you repeat a sentence, every time you imagine the world you are exploring too. So pause for a moment. Look around. Imagine your own map, your journey, your discoveries. And remember small steps, small lines, small ideas, they all matter. Thank you for traveling through the history of maps with me. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to learn more English through history, culture, and everyday objects. Comment below with your favorite map story. And remember, 1 sentence a day is enough to explore a whole new world. Maps connect us. Curiosity drives us. Stories teach us. And your journey has just begun.